food can be such a great connector. Mariella of Marisa's Easy Kitchen joins us now with the benefits of preparing and sharing something to eat.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we know that cooking is deeply rooted in love. And we know that if you are making a homemade meal, that's an act of love. And if you're sharing that with others, especially if they're facing some difficult times, it's an even greater act of love.
Because that's one of the nicest things you can do for somebody who's either dealing with an illness or dealing with a death in the family. It's like, just take something over. Don't ask what they need, just take something over and drop it off.
That's right. And sometimes if you ask, they're going to decline just because they're being polite. They don't want to maybe burden you with that responsibility. But you know what it feels like to be the recipient of something homemade.
And it's like, oh, until you see it, you don't realize, oh, I was really hungry and I haven't eaten at all.
Right.
And, yeah. So it could be something like cookies or muffins.
Yeah, so let's talk about these cookies. So when you're bringing something, you know, I think it's really important to practice a little self-compassion and let go of perfection, right? So my smiley cookies, well, you know, they're a little bit warped and stuff, but that's okay. There's love in those cookies.
And they'll taste delicious.
That's right.
Yes.
And you have to remember that a person receiving your gift of love, they're not going to criticize. They're just so deeply grateful for your generosity, you know, for that expression of love.
And so many easy ways to do it here. So you have a salad, and you were telling me during the break, okay, if you bring a salad in for work, bring one for a coworker.
Exactly. It takes minutes to assemble a salad. And so, you know, put a little package together for a coworker who maybe is facing some, you know, a difficult time, and spend that lunchtime together. But that's right, even as a thanks, right? Maybe they helped you out with a project, and so you can show your gratitude by buying them, or not buying, but making them lunch. Right, exactly.
And I like to, I love the idea of homemade soup. It's
so nourishing, isn't it?
But just putting it in a jar.
Exactly.
Not a fancy jar, just putting it in a jar and letting them know this is what's in here and this is how you heat it.
Right. Now, you can't do this all the time, right? You know, you have to be practical. But when you can, if you're making a big pot of soup, right? So put a little bit aside, and again, maybe share it with a neighbor. Maybe there's an elderly person in your neighborhood that could use a quick visit and a nice jar of homemade soup.
Right, right. What else do you have here?
So I have pasta al forno, you know, that's so traditional in my culture. And again, so easy to make. If I'm going to, you know, cook up 500 grams of pasta, chances are my family's not going to eat it all. So maybe make a little portion, and again, maybe you can share that. I've got some quiche, you know, if you're going to make one, make two. I've had the pleasure of cooking with elderly, with teens, and all sorts of people at different locations in the city. You know, a lot of parishes have community meal outreach that you can go and volunteer and cook. Or they'll
even have like community lunches or
That's
something
right,
like that.
That you can, you know, you don't have to take the burden on all by yourself. Maybe cooking for 30 people might be a little bit daunting. But if you're in a team, you also benefit from that camaraderie. It's going to be a fun time. And you get to see the residents of whatever that program is, like the Mark Priest Home. You know, cooking for the residents there is just so heartwarming.
Right.
And to hear the residents say that, you know, they can't remember the last time they had a hot, fresh, homemade meal. You know that that food is nourishing more than just their body.
Right, and that home is a home for people, and like sometimes it's family members, sometimes it's patients of the general, Hamilton General Hospital.
Any of the hospitals, right, that, you know, perhaps can't commute back and forth from where they are. And sometimes they share their stories, and, you know, heart-wrenching stories. So it just feels so good to be able to maybe lift their spirits, even if it's just for a dinner time.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like a cup of coffee, right?
Exactly.
It can be like, if you're going through the drive-through, pick up something, right?
Exactly. You know, any expression of love through food is going to not only boost your spirits, but do wonders for the other person as well.
Because what do you get out of it? What do you get out of sharing your food?
So I think there's something so basic about food and nourishing the body, right? You're providing a need, a very basic need. And in a way, you know, sometimes you don't know how to help someone through a situation, but they have to eat. And so by taking on this gift, you're also gifting yourself. It just boosts your own spirit. You know that you've made a difference.
Yeah. Your favorite recipe, your favorite go-to if somebody needs a little boost? What is it?
So easy. That's going to be soup. I think we were talking about that before. Yep. So, you know, soup is so easy to make, and there's so many different varieties. And really, in my fridge at home, I have different kinds of soups probably all week long. Because, again, very easy, nutritious, and there's just something so rewarding, so satisfying.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is really what we're doing. We're trying to soothe the spirit of someone who maybe is encountering a difficult time.
Or maybe just hungry.
Or hungry.
Our whole newsroom is like so happy that you're here today.
I'm happy.
You're sharing the love, right?
Well, you know what? You worked on Family Day, and so you spent it with us. So this is now cooking for you in gratitude for all you do.
Okay, we'll get the links up to Marisa's Easy Kitchen and your website and your blog as well, where you can find some of these recipes and maybe sample some of your own. We'll get that all up at chch.com/morninglive.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Annette.
you again.
Oh, such a pleasure. What do you think will be your favorite?